good morning everyone and welcome to the channel. I hope that you're having a wonderful day out there today. It is a brisk, cold morning. As a matter of fact, I should be putting on my jacket, but we're just gonna wing it. We're just gonna go right into it. Hope that you're all doing well. Today we're going to listen and watch Ren, the Tale of Jenny and Screech. We had listened and watched a few Ren videos in the past, and we haven't done anything very recently, but we're going to go ahead and check this one out. This was suggested and sponsored by Lightmain. Lightmain, thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you so much for the support as well. I really appreciate that. And I see that this particular performance and track had also been suggested by Good Girl Gone, Pat Cow 999, Bell Gand, Rick B. Hold on, I know there's more of you. Con RHS, Jens Randolph, I got y'all. B. Piraeus, Jane or Jean Laveau, Skunk Works. The list goes on and on and on. So thank you all so much for the suggestion. Like I said, it's been a little bit. We're going to go ahead and dive on in right now. I'm going to pull up lyrics on my end, although we'll be watching the video. I'm just going to move these over so I can see the lyrics as we listen. And let me go ahead and pull up the video. We'll, of course, discuss it after. It started as soon as I made it bigger. But here we go.
It was a quiet, dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny walked alone, she was dragging her feet. She was heading back home to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, because she walked it about 1,000 times before she wanted to escape. Can you blame? Well, on the very same night, in a different place, there walked this hooded young youth by the name of James. He was 14 years old and out of his brain. He'd been smoking ganja with the boys. James, he grew up to be a kid of the street. His mates called him Screech. He was quick on his feet. He was a liar, a thief. At 14 years old, the devil had set his sights on his soul. As Jenny walked home all alone, she felt scared. Usually she was alright, but it was like there was something in the air. A divine intervention telling her to beware. Maybe intuition bugging her and making her so scared. Sirens sound in the distance at the beat of Jenny's feet. A symphony of the night that echoes crime on London streets. Jenny turns a corner, their eyes they meet. Our poor girl Jenny, a boy named Screech. Give me all your money, bitch, give it to me. If you cooperate, then you'll soon be free. I want your purse, your phone, don't fucking look at me. I mean it. Bitch, are you listening to me? Jenny freezes statue like a lady shakes stalactite. Feel like liquid nitrogen in the dark night. She tried to find strength to move, but stayed as still as a statue in high-heeled shoes. What the hell you playing at? You playing games with me? I swear to fucking God, I'll slice the rosy off your cheeks. You think I don't mean it, girl? You don't know me. The last thing you see will be a boy code. Screech reached with the sheath of the blade, with the teeth that could bite through steel and slice concrete. And he swung possessed with the devil in his chest, and the statue she was turned to butter in her breath. It was a quiet, dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny lay still on the cold concrete. She's found somewhere to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, 'cause she'd walked it about 1,000 times before. I guess that she escaped. It's such a shame.
I love how his guitar playing. I guess we could stop it there, and I guess that's the first part because I believe it's 3 parts here. I love how his guitar playing really captured the characters. You know, with Jenny, it was of course softer and a little more, trepid, and then with or maybe that's not the word I'm thinking of. There, careful is the word I'm thinking of. And then with Screech, it was of course much more aggressive. Well, I'm gonna let it keep playing because I want to kind of take it all in stride. I don't want to interrupt too much. I want to just like really let the whole thing play. And also very impressive that was all one shot. So now we got one perspective, huh?
Our story, it starts right at the end. At the life of poor Jenny, clocked out like Big Ben. Dear Screech, dear boy, where did he go? He melted into the black night just like snow. Patrick, man, let me in, please open the door. I think I fucked up, Patrick, really fucked up, man, I'm not sure. I got crazy, left this lady lying still on the floor. I think I killed her, Patrick, come on, man, I can't knock no more. But Screech kept on knocking till his knuckles became sore. But there's no sign of Patrick down at number 54. No refuge for our villain, for the bitter hands of fate, with something far more sinister in mind that does away. Hey, babe, are you in? Nah, nothing really, I'm just a bit tired, listen. Can I swing around yours for a few moments? I just really miss you, babe.
I love the theatrics.
What the fuck do you mean you're busy?
Really
you fucking bitch! For fuck's sakes! Siren sounds approaching like a banshee in the night. The shrill cry of justice cutting like the sharpest knife. But Screech was never one to run, not one to miss a fight. One hand upon his blade, he turned to face the blue lights. Come on then, you fucking cunts, let's fucking have you then. I am Screech, I'm the boss, I'm the ender of men. You think that uniform you're wearing means that you own these streets? These are my fucking streets, and they call me fucking Screech. Richard was an officer who stood at 6'3", working London on the night shift. What he didn't think he'd see was a boy running at him like an animal possessed. With no time to hesitate, he fired 4 bullets at Screech's chest.
Classic GoldenEye camera work. This is really a great performance, just overall.
Our story, it ends right at the start. Young Screech and poor Jenny lying 1 street apart. An officer shaken by the boy that he claimed. 2 bodies lay lifeless, and it's such a shame. It's such a shame.
I mean, you have to praise upon praise upon praise the actual performance of all of this, from the camera work, which is simple, and it is so extremely effective. I mean, truthfully. This is really brilliant, to be honest. This is really, really wonderful. I love the connecting between everybody. Very reminiscent of High Ren.
London city, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. Rhythmic beats and bloodstains, she saw Lady weep, she's tired and frail. To set the scene, we must rewind the hands of time for Violet's tale.
Love how that acted as a rewind, just those simple melodies and chords there.
Violet was a silent girl, grew up with violent starts. Her mother was a drinker and her father was a bastard. Every night he took her tie but never left the room. I'll spare you of the things he did, I'm sure her mother knew. Violet was a silent girl, she moved out at 16. A semi-detached council flat, paid for by a welfare scheme. Packing shelves at Tesco, stacking jars like pickled bricks. She met a boy named Stevie and he was a little prick. Violet was a silent girl and Violet she fell fast. See, Stevie was a wrong un, but he sure knew how to charm her. Every night he took her tie but never left the room. History repeats itself, he'd paint her black and blue and dark. She never stood a chance. The devil comes to dance.
This is really fantastic.
Violet, why are you always so quiet? On her bedroom door and he's irate. He's been drinking and smoking, he's up late. And he stands by her bedside, she shakes, but her eyes stay shut. You fucking slut, I know you're up. And he pinches her eyelids and folds them up. Violet, why are you lying to me, Violet? She stays silent, things turn violent. That's the sound of his fists when they fall like a crashing pilot. Hit like hailstones, one to the collarbone, full force, full blown, blood splat, bone crack, knick knack, paddywhack, one to the jaw and the tooth spat, detached fist connects and disconnects a bone. A quick deflect to misdirect the blow, but nonetheless his punches met her throat. Such a mess, he's left her bruised and broke. Violet, why you always so silent, Violet? Why you such a little liar, Violet? Do you think I want to do this, Violet? In character, she stays silent. Well, say something, Violet. Silence. Fucking say something, Violet. Silence. Wait. Say something, Violet. Not one word. She stays quiet. London city, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. The doctor, in a state of shock, saw something here so very wrong. See, Violet, she was pregnant. Poor Violet, she was 9 months gone. Turning to the doctor, Violet broke her silence and she cried, if I'm to die right here tonight, please let my baby stay alive. The doctor soon regained composure, called the surgeon to come in. As Violet's world turned to black, the curtains closed, the lights went dim. In London city, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington just lost the fight to stay alive. A tragedy or a miracle, it happened on these very streets. Two twins are lying side by side. A girl named Jenny and a boy named Screech.
There's your twist. 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 Okay. We've listened to Ren before, so I came into this knowing to, for lack of a better word, expect greatness in some capacity. Like, really, right? I have a high expectation. And still, even with the high expectation, just brilliant. This is, yes, a great song, a great track, sure. But beyond that, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to talk more beyond that. Because the music's great. His singing, how he performs is brilliant. The guitar playing, wonderful. But I want to talk about the whole performance, the whole actual video, because I feel like there's just so much to unpack in there. And the lyrics were fortunately at the bottom, so we don't necessarily need to go over that in that case. But from the very beginning, I think that this is just truthfully a work of art. So from the beginning, Jenny and Screech, I mentioned it. I didn't want to talk too much over the video because it was definitely one that you just want to absorb. But a few points to make. I love how he's just brilliantly performing on site, like right in the streets there themselves. And there's a few moments like in the hospital bed where like, of course, like he's on set, but then how he comes back out of that, starting in the future at that particular point of the story and coming back to the streets, reversing time, so to speak. Like, I just think that was really brilliant at that particular part with Violet's Tale. But starting off with Jenny and Screech in the very beginning, on the streets, on location, and in one shot, and just one shot. All of these pieces were one shot, obviously edited together, but each portion is one shot, and it makes it so brilliant. It makes it so hard hitting. You cannot tear your eyes away from the performance. His words lock you in and tell this story so brilliantly. And it's hard to tell a story sometimes like this. It's hard to write a certain way. It's hard to perform and write the music alongside it a certain way. But he did it with nothing but plus marks in everything that he did. The capacity, the creativity to put this all together is really wonderful. Or in Screech's Tale, when the cop shows up. And now we get a little bit, not a full tale, but a little bit of perspective from the cop's point of view. Having to shoot Screech. Of course, knocks on the guitar, shooting him. And then the way that the camera falls, pulling a little bit of a old James Bond GoldenEye thing, right? Remember at the end of Casino Royale, after Daniel Craig, the last guy, and then the camera walks up to you on the camera. It says, "I'm Bond, James Bond." Like, it's just a really neat way that was performed. And I saw that in Screech's Tale, it did show up Ren, and I believe it was Samuel. And I believe a Samuel and Ren video. I'm just assuming. I do not know. I'm assuming maybe Samuel is the cameraman or maybe the producer behind the actual video. If so, brilliantly played. Not only is Ren playing all these characters, but we have to give praise to the cameraman. Because the cameraman, who controls our perspective, who controls the audience's perspective, is also a character to play. And a character that's fully involved and developed in this video. So once again, like, there's just so many aspects to take from this and to kind of just praise. And once again, there's a lot of obvious things that I know Ren and his music and his videos are very widely watched, very popular online and stuff like that. There's a lot of obvious things in here that are also just incredible. The twist at the end, the way that the story weaves and brings all these different characters together on this London street, on this London night. There's a lot of obvious things. The playing, his acting, in lieu and in relation to his singing, it's all just wrapped up in one word, as performance. This is art. This is, as the kids say, cinema. Truthfully. So from the very beginning, in Tale of Jenny and Screech, once again, I really like how Jenny was played softer, played familiarly. She's walked these streets 1,000 times. This was a night like any other, except when it wasn't. And then, of course, with Screech, much more aggressive in those chords, much more aggressive in the way he would strike, much more profanity laden, so truly embodying the two characters. Reaching into his heart and pulling out the sadness when, of course, the blade was swiped. And now Jenny, she's there lying on the ground. She found a place to sleep, as he says. And then moving into Screech's Tale, which was really wonderful how that perspective shift happens. Can I tell you, this is recency bias, but have you guys seen the Netflix Frankenstein? I haven't read the original book from Miss Shelley or anything like that. I haven't seen any other media with Frankenstein personally, but I really enjoyed, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but I really enjoyed how halfway through we get Frankenstein's monsters side of the tale. We get his side and perspective on what he went through. So in a similar case, here, obviously this is older, but I like how we get these connecting perspectives that continually layer, develop, and progress the story, and not only progress it linearly, time-wise, right? We get from Jenny to Screech, but then we get Violet, so we move back a little bit. And at that point, we go even further back. And then that's used to bring us back to the present, to gain more understanding about the present situation. Like, all these things are just really wonderful. So that use of perspective is really, really well done. Kind of ties in, once again, to the use of perspective with the camera. But that's we're not going to go too far with all that. So that was really, really cool. Moving into Screech's tale, obviously the acting really comes into a lot more play there. There he really gets to kind of bring those acting chops out. And the locale changes, right? It changes into something, the camera work feels a little bit more paranoid. It spins around him at certain moments. Of course, he's just, maybe he killed this girl and he doesn't know what's happening, doesn't know what to do. He knocks on the door, interrupting his music, interrupting his flow. He calls his girl. Like, all of these things start to really work into the performance, which is actually really fantastic. And a great combination of bringing music and art and performance together. This is performance. And can I tell you, I don't know anything about Ren's touring schedule or anything of that nature, but he could very easily maneuver between theater and music or concerts, like of that kind of nature. And perhaps even beyond that. So that was really wonderful as he did that in Screech's tale. And of course, once again, bringing in the cop and the cop getting a moment of perspective. And we even get a little bit of perspective into the cop's mentality. Of course, he just shot this young kid. He didn't want to, but that's how it lined up. So now I thought that it was actually going to go into the cop's tale because he was given a name. I don't remember what it was now off the top of my head, but we did mention his name and such. So I thought it was going to switch from Screech's tale to the cop's tale and go that direction, but I didn't. And then we end up in the hospital bed, which was very reminiscent of High Ren. And I was like, oh, are we going to kind of tie things back together? Even though that was much more of an introspective kind of mental journey. But no, we continue the journey, but this time with Violet. And that's when we start getting onion slices, or onion peels, I should say. Not onion slices of backstory. Not only Violet's backstory, but how that eventually, of course, leads into Jenny and Screech's backstory and where they came from. It's just extremely wonderfully developed. And like I said, I once again want to praise the production of it all and the camera work. Like I said, with Violet at that particular time starting in the hospital bed, how did we end up here? Well, the hospital bed was her final place with Violet, and then moving back in time to explain how she got there. And not only doing that musically, but literally, he walks out of the bed and walks us back to the streets. Like that whole thing is just incredibly well executed and incredibly well done. Violet's abuser acting him out as well. That particular portion was perhaps, and I'll say one of the highlights, because this had a lot of highlights, but definitely one of the biggest highlights, as of course you got into that pretty much a cappella rap, basically, with the beatings and such. And of course, the rapping there was very much more aggressive. I'm sorry, I'm looking outside my window and there's one of our stray cats. Not our stray cats, just one of the neighborhood stray cats walking outside. It's cold, brother. Good inside. And that was definitely one of the huge standouts in this performance here. This was brilliant. This was absolutely a wonderful piece of art that I think is very well worth to watch, very well worth listen. I'm trying to think if there's something else out of here that I'm trying to think of that is worth mentioning, but I think I covered it all. I think I got everything I wanted to get. What was Screech's real name? I'm looking at the lyrics real quick. James. Jenny and James. Do you think there's something to that besides the J's? Jenny and James. Mother's name Violet. I feel like there might be something more. Sometimes you think there's something more. Richard was the officer. I'm looking through the lyrics right now. I'm literally just here, like just scrolling through the lyrics, seeing if there's anything of necessarily interest, but I can't quite say. But like I said, truly a brilliant performance, truly a brilliant, this is theater, this is cinema, this is a high mark of art. Really, really awesome. Let me know, of course, you all thought of it in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for the recommendation. I appreciate you all watching as well. Lightmain, appreciate the sponsorship and the suggestion. This was a really, really great watch, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it as well. Please come back tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. Bye, guys.